Well, hello there, stamping friends. This is Traci Raether from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it's actually a Facebook Live bonus tonight. It's Monday evening, and let's see, what's the date today? Today is November 7th, and we're going to work on a paper pumpkin kit together. It's actually from October of this year, 2022. And it's called Ho Ho Ho. So obviously it has an adorable Santa in it and some other really nice things. And we're going to use these to make not only the three cards that are designed in the kit, we are also going to make two alternatives. We're going to use blending brushes, stencils, some foil paper, we're going to add, and some snowflake dies. So anyway, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to go ahead and put the phone up in the holder here, and then we're going to get started. So just 1 minute while I get this thing ready to hopefully do the thing it's supposed to do. There we go. All right. We'll flip that around here. Okay. And I'm going to double check that we're in the right spot. So let's see. It takes a moment for it to show me what it's showing you. So this is the kit. So I got it in this box in the mail. Isn't that festive? And then it comes with instructions that I'll review with you. In the box, when we get this, there's all kinds of pieces and parts which I already have out, but I'm showing it to you because it always comes wrapped in tissue paper like a gift. And I absolutely love that. And then it has the cards and the envelopes and embellishments and die cuts. All the things that you need to make the card or the project. And so this kit is to make 3 cards of 3 different cards, 3 each of those cards. So for a total of 9 cards. And we're going to just make 1 of each together, and then I'm going to show you 2 alternatives where I added a few coordinating products from Stampin' Up! To make more cards. So I would say every month I get extra cards out of my kit because I use them a little bit differently. I cut up the envelopes and use them as designer series paper, and I'll kind of explain that all to you as I go along. On the back of these instructions, it will tell you the colors that come in the kit, what are the pieces that are in the kit so you can check it and make sure that you have everything that you need. There is actually a QR code here to take you to paperpumpkinhowto.com so you can watch a video for how to make the projects. Then they also have some alternative suggestions for you, as well as there are so many posted online, on Facebook, on Pinterest, that you can also do. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and get started, and I'll just remind you, if you'll sign in and let me know where you're watching from, that would be wonderful. If you have any questions or any feedback, please don't hesitate to do that. So hi, Becky from Kentucky, and thank you for sharing the video. I'll just let you know, sharing the video is the best compliment you can give to me, and you can also share the fun of putting these cards together with more people. So hi, Betty, and we're gonna just keep going here. So the other thing that I'll let you know that comes in the kit is there is always a stamp set, and then you keep these. So I've been doing this for so many years. I have a ton of wonderful stamp sets. So I already have many of these mounted on my acrylic blocks already. So I'll just take this kind of out of our way. And then we always get a stamp spot. So this one had early espresso. You're going to see that I will use my regular stamp pad though, because I save these for when I go to crops. I also got the adhesive, so I got dimensionals. I got some adhesive dots rather than using a tape runner. Now, if it's more comfortable for you to use your own adhesive, that's fine. There's also some pearls in here that can be used to embellish our cards. And I think that's kind of the information that I wanted to share with you ahead of time. So we'll go ahead and open our instructions. And the first thing you'll see is how to sort all of the different pieces and embellishments and all that that have been included so that you have them gathered by card, which I've already done. I already made a set of the cards. And now we're just going to make a second set together. And then they go by project and give you the details of how to assemble the card. So it really couldn't be easier, but once again, these are their designs, but you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to follow their designs to show you the cards that way, but I am also going to do some additional designs that I did when I was looking at my other supplies. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a peek at our first card. And I have to tell you, I modified this one right away because I'm going to use what was the front of this card in my alternatives. Okay, so first I'm just going to take the card base that they've provided, use my bone folder and get that ready. Then I'm going to do my stamping. So there's two things that they want me to stamp in this. They want me stamping a Santa and the word Christmas. So let me do that, and I'll tell you, I have found that stamping this Santa is a lot easier because the Santa is already like colored in. So I just need to make the outline. It works a lot easier. Oops, I'm going to put this a little closer to me. When you put it on something dark so you can see the outline. Okay, and then we have our Christmas. Now, these are photopolymer stamps, so I'm going to get out my Pierce mat and make sure that I make good images here. The reason we have to do that is because photopolymer stamps do not have the cushion in between them. They are just the photopolymer material itself. So by using the Pierce mat, I provide some cushion for it. And then I have my Santa also mounted on the acrylic block. Let me go ahead and get my early espresso here, and we'll just stamp that up. Let me just slide that up here. Okay, so let's start with our Santa. Just going to ink up my stamp and then go over the top here, lining it up, and I apologize in advance if you're seeing my head in the way. It's hard to do this if you're not right over the die cut. And then we'll just pull that off. And there is our first Santa. And I'll just tap that off. We're going to use him a number of times tonight. Okay, and then we'll do our word Christmas. And this is one of those that are reverse. So you want to make sure that you've got a nice even, coverage of your ink so that it doesn't have any areas that are missing. So just to allow the ink to grab in a little more, I just let it sit there. So now we have our Christmas. Okay. I can put this aside. Now I'm not going to put this stenciled like piece of cardstock on here because I'm going to use it in my alternatives. But so you'll see it then. I just took a cut from the envelope. You can see what the envelope looks like. I actually cut up an envelope and I use them in my alternative cards, and I'm using it for this card front. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I think I can do it either way here. Maybe I'm just going to center this right in the center here. So I'm going to use a little of my multi-purpose glue first. Okay. So you're going to see me do some things a little different from the project, and some things, you know, I like to follow it. So I thought even when we're making the alternates that I did, we might do them just a little different so you can see another design. Okay, so we've got that. And now we're going to go ahead and put our snowflake. And the suggestion is, this even tells you where to put adhesive versus dimensional. So I just have one piece of adhesive in the center of the snowflake here. I'm just going to line that up right there. Okay, and then I have my Mary, that was a die cut with the kit, and I'm going to attach that to this banner that was provided. And now I've already done putting the adhesive dots on here, so if you're stamping along with me, it would be just to put your little adhesive dots on the back of the word Mary. And then we're going to put that on top of the banner. And after I get these pieces of adhesive that are covering my little glue dots here, I will make sure that they're not showing on the other side. They are clear, which helps, but you don't want to see a little piece of adhesive. So this stuff will like roll over onto itself if needed. So I just check once I can look at it from the other side. All right, so I have a little one that's showing right there, and up here in my M. So I'm just rolling it onto itself, and the other ones don't show. So now I'm going to just center this onto the banner. Okay. Oh, and I have a little piece here that's sticking out, and I'm just going to push it under the letter with my take your pick tool. The tool that helps with a little bit of everything that we do. All right. So then I'm going to, I already have the, I need to put some dimensionals on the back of my Santa. I couldn't do that until after I stamped him. Okay, and then I need to put some dimensionals behind the Christmas that I stamped. Actually, you know what? Well, I'll stick with this. I also have out my mini dimensionals. Some of these are pushing it as far as being able to stay on those sentiment labels. We'll take off the top of those dimensionals. I'm going to do the same thing here with my banner. Okay, and now we're just going to kind of layer this up here. So let's start with the banner itself. And I'm just centering it from the sides of the card. And then I have the Mary, the Christmas that's going to go below that. And then I'm going to slide my Santa just at a little angle here underneath that. So there's the first card. Now you can use stamps from the set, or from another set to make the inside. Tonight we're not going to be doing that. I'm really worrying about the card fronts, except my alternatives. I will show you how I've done them. So that is card 1 with this beautiful envelope. So we'll set this over here, and let's go to card 2. So we'll look at those instructions. Get the dimensionals out of our way. All right, here we go. So this one is in, let me see which blue this was. I was going to double check that. This is Bermuda Bay. I think it's such a pretty blue. Okay, so this one we're going to do our stamping here. So first we're going to do Santa and his sleigh over here in the stars, and we're going to do Santa Claus is coming to town there. Okay, and I'll just kind of slide these things over and put these to the side. We're going to continue to use our early espresso. So let's first do Santa and his sleigh. Okay, and let's see. I'm just going to press down. I don't wobble it, I just let it sit there a second and then pick it up. I always have my Simply chamois just off to the side here so I can clean stamps because I'm using some of the same blocks too here. Okay, let's find our Santa Claus is coming to town. We're going to need to put this on a block. Okay, and we'll ink that up. And I think 2 of my fingers got in the ink. All right. Alrighty. Then we should be ready to assemble this. So let's get our card base. And we'll use our bone folder again. We'll take our pieces here and just move our mat to the side. Okay. So first they want us to create a frame around what we've already stamped on. So it is putting, let me show it to you on the blue, it's a little easier to see. I just put 6 adhesive dots around that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just pop the top off of these. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to use my silicone mat. I don't want anything sticking here. Although most of this, the stickiness will end up on the edges of the die cut. Then I just want to turn it over and see, did I get it? I guess that's pretty straight. Okay. And then this other little piece, we're going to take the 3 adhesive coverings here of those glue dots, and it actually is going to be right below the frame that we just put on. So this all comes all printed and you just punch it out. So then I'm going to slide that under the frame. And then once I think I have it straight, my glue dots must be just a little off. Okay, so now we've got the peppermint look on there. So now we can go ahead and behind all of this, we're going to put 5 of our dimensionals. just to give it a little interest by popping it up. Okay. All right, and I'm going to put that a little bit towards the top here, kind of giving it, centering it, leaving the extra space down here. Okay, and we've got a single snowflake again of this iridescent paper. I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, kind of get it so it doesn't come off the edge of the card. And then I have my Santa Claus is coming to town, and I need, this is where I'm going to use mini glue dots instead of the bigger ones. I don't have to worry about it showing on the edge. Okay, now we'll take off those tops. And we'll go ahead and attach that down here a little bit. All right, and then we have a double die cut here. First we have some vellum, and then we have it in red. And I'm going to go ahead, and once again, I just used these glue dots. I'm just going to take the adhesive covering off of them. And then I'm going to check them just like I did on the first card to make sure that that adhesive is not showing from the front. I'll tell you, I use these leftover adhesive dots when I'm trying to add die cuts with letters on because they work so well. And they're not as thick as the other glue dots that we get when you buy the mini glue dots. And so I'm just folding this over itself a little bit again. Look, that one I didn't take the adhesive off. No wonder it wanted to curl over. There we go. And I do think it's worth, you know, the time to take a look at this and, you know, make sure it's not there. A lot of people won't even notice it, but some would, and I like this to look as professional as I can. A lot of people save our cards when we make them, so then I'm just going to line this up across the vellum, and then on the vellum I also have these dots, and I put them over by where the O's were. That's what the instructions said, and plus that was where they'll be least likely to be seen. And so another thing is I keep these dots and I use them when I use vellum. You can use vellum tape, but this also, they work very well. So we have our ho ho ho. And there's our second card. I think this one's really pretty. I actually think it's my favorite because I love this, the Bermuda Bay with the cherry cobbler. Okay, card 2. And isn't that a pretty envelope to go with it? Okay. And now let's go to card 3 here. And these are the ones, remember, that were designed by Stampin' Up. So this is the third one of that group. So this envelope is more crumb cake, but isn't that one pretty? So I'll just set the envelope there. We'll get our card here and go ahead and use our bone folder once again just to get a nice crease. Okay, now there is a smaller, what I would call die cut stencil for this one. And our instructions are just to put dimensionals on the back of this, and then we're going to connect it or adhere it to the front of our card base. So I'm just going to take all of the adhesive coverings off of here. So if you're doing this along with me, it's just, you could put anywhere from 5. I actually put a couple extra because I wanted this to stay flat on the top of my card. And then we're just going to center it right on top of the card. Crumb cake over crumb cake there. All right, and then our stamping for this one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our Santa face again. So I'm going to get my Post-it note so I can see it again. And then we're going to we're going to do a sentiment as well. So let me, I have to mount the sentiment here. And actually, if you have a long skinny one like this, let me move this up so you can see. You may want to actually use your grid paper to, keep that straight, because these will bend. You can actually make this verse curvy if you want to, because it's very flexible, but I want mine to be straight because I'm going to be putting it on this green strip die cut, actually. And this one, I find when I have words that are this fine and they're photopolymer, but if I do them on, I have a piece of cardboard under here with a piece of paper, that is enough of a padding to do a good job with that. Sometimes if I use the Pierce mat here, it might not be as good, so I just make sure that I've got the ink coverage on all the words. And I try to do everything straight as I can to keep everything straight. I'm going to center it on this piece, and I think it went up a little bit. Let's check it out. That's good enough. It's art, right? Okay, let's set this out of our way. Let's go ahead and do our Santa. Well, right in the middle of his hat, I got some extra pressure, and I don't want brown in the middle of that. So, wiped it off, and we'll do it again. And now, pardon my hair. So I try to put this on here. I have to tell you, I was, working with the kit before I'm sharing it with you, and a couple times I wasn't quite so right on. So, there we go. Now we can go ahead, and I think we've got all the pieces so we can assemble. Card. Okay. So let's first put our snowflakes on here. Once again, we have these iridescent snowflakes, and I actually just put one glue dot in the center of each of these, and I'm just going to take that part off, and we're just going to put these where they have suggested that they go. So I haven't been looking to see if you have any questions. Hi Bobby, hi Sue, Rosemarie. And if anyone else is here and hasn't let me know, please do. Let's see, we'll get this one down here. I don't see any questions, but I'd be happy to answer any if you have them. If I happen to miss a question during our time together, I will definitely answer it after the live. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and this, I already have my glue dots behind this one, but I don't have it behind the other one here because we had to stamp on it. So let me just put these on here quickly. And I'll tell you, this take your pick tool to get these off of the one sheet and onto this other one, I think it's the very best way to do it. Sometimes when my fingernails are long, I can get under there, but otherwise it's kind of a challenge. Okay. So I'm interested. How many of you have either a current Paper Pumpkin subscription or you have had them in the past? And do you have questions about it? So let's see, we're going to put this. If I could get it right where I want it, and now it's stuck to the snowflake. Okay. Let's get it down just a little bit. Here we go. Okay. And then I'm going to put the "'Tis the Season to Be Jolly." I want to center that. Okay, there we go. And now we have our joy, and I have to get some dimensionals on the Santa here. All right. So I'm going to center Santa and then go ahead and put the letters on either side. So we have our Santa. I thought that was kind of a unique idea to make him the O. Okay. Now we've got our J. All right, and the Y. Okay, so that is the third project designed by the Stampin' Up! Designers. And I'm interested, what do you think? Do you like 1, 2, or 3 better of these cards? I'll lay them out here. So these are the ones created by Stampin' Up! Oh, that's fun, Betty. I'm so glad this is your first one and that you're here tonight, because I think it'll help you to, just kind of use the instructions and make your own. All right, so now what's up is I'm going to share with you 2 cards that I designed using the materials and some coordinating ones. I'm just trying to get all the dimensionals off of here. All right, so let's go ahead and get our instructions out of the way now. And let's see, I want to show you the 2 cards that I'm going to share with you. So these are the 2 that I made. Let's see if I can, 3 is your favorite. Okay, Becky, thank you. So we've got a vote for number 3 here. And let me just make sure that you can see the 2 that I have here. All right, so we're going to start because I'm going to go from using one as a stencil, and then actually the other one is going to be mounted as the front of my card. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And I'll leave these kind of just sitting on top of these. I think I'll have plenty of work room. So I'm going to take this first card. I've got all kinds of pieces in here already for us to use. But most important right now is my card front, which I have already used my bone folder on. And then I need the stencil. So what this is, this would have been the die cut to put on that first card, like this one. See how they had it on here when I made it? I just used a piece of the envelope. Otherwise, that is the same card. But I wanted to use this as a stencil. So I'm going to use, let me get my blending brush here. And I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet because out of these colors right here, it's the lightest one. So I'm going to use that. And I want to do this on the white side because I want to use this color then as my base or my card front for the next card. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to anchor this with my Post-it notes, sticky notes, whatever. And got to keep it straight here. And I just want to anchor this so it doesn't move. Excuse me. So let's take another one down here. And I'm just putting that right on the edge. Maybe for a good measure, I'll use the third one here just on this side. And my goal is just to keep everything together and straight. Okay, so I have my this all tacked down, and as you can see, I decided when I made this that I wanted to go from darkest in the corner to lighter, and I'm not going to color the whole thing, okay? So with the blending brush, now you get 3 of these in a packet. I just use them and I wash them every time, and I really like using them. All right, so then the thing is, whenever you start and you come onto your paper, I always start off of the paper so that I don't put a dot of something and you can see it more than any, you know, like it looks like a blob, I guess is the best way to say it. And I don't want a blob. So I'm just going to start gently and move this around. Now, one of the things I didn't do is get this up to the very edge, so I'm just going to have to be really careful. And now I started right in the center. Good thing this is in the dark section of where I want to put more pressure and more of the ink, because otherwise it would kind of undo my little technique I'm doing here. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep coming off of this corner to these darkest ones that I have. And then I'm just lightening up my touch as I do these other ones. I just want to make sure that I get the whole snowflake, flower, whatever, into this. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just take this out of the way and I'll wash it when I'm all done. And I'm going to remove my Post-it notes. Oh no! You know how I'm going to fix this? I am going to take the brush and where that Post-it note was, hopefully blend it in enough that no one can tell. Last time when I did it, I squared it up much better and I didn't have the same issue. There, you can't even tell. So any little mistakes you make always can be fixed, so no worries. Okay, there, you can't even tell the edge was there. Oh, but we can tell it over here, so let's just get this a little blended in there. Okay, and down here, yeah, I didn't quite line that up well enough. There we go. Okay, now we got it fixed, because remember, I'm going to use this as the front on the other card. Okay, so let's get that out of our way, throw away these, and we'll just set this to the side for when we do our next card. And now we have the one with our stencil. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and make our parts and pieces. So this is going to be on the inside. That is my card insert. I'm going to have something that I stamp on here. I'm going to double the card insert. I'm going to make a Santa. So this time I am going to make him totally from just white paper, and then I'm going to color him. I cut this out of the envelope, so I'm going to have to decide how wide I want that to be. You know, maybe I do just want it to go all the way. I kind of like that. And then we're going to stamp this with the sentiment, and then we're going to use our punch. So let me go ahead and get this, and we do need our shaded spruce to get the dark green. So I think I can do this without the Pierce mat. Let's go ahead and do that first. Okay. And I am going to put it towards the top. Well, let's see. Now, if I'm going to center this, I'm going to go ahead and do this right in the center. Okay, so we have our sentiment. Now I need to do something a little different this time because I'm going to use some blending markers to color in my Santa. I'm going to stamp it with the Memento black so that I can color on it. And you know what? I need to do it for this other card too. So I'm going to do both Santas at the same time. It'll just save us a little time. All right, so we've got those. Let me use the Pierce mat just to make sure we get good impressions of our Santa. All right, so I'll take the Memento black, and this will not run with the blending markers, Stampin' Blends. Okay, so first do him on here. Do them on here. All right. Now the other Santas in the die cuts were already colored. So since these guys are not, we'll have to color them. Let's see, what's the thing we want to do for the inside here? I'm going to do the reindeer. Let's just get all of our stamping done before we start coloring. So we get those here. We are going to do the reindeer. And once again, I'm going to continue to do that in early espresso so it looks like nighttime. Okay. I got these little glue dot covers everywhere. All right, and now let's just do our Santa Claus is coming to town. And I am going to do that in the sweet sorbet, just to match the stamping that we did on the front here. Oops. All right. And I'm just going to layer this on the red or the cherry cobbler that I already have cut for the inside of the card. I really think it, especially when you're using a white card base, to just layer your cardstock inside really adds, you know, a little punch. You know, instead of just white, putting this in here really makes it look a lot more special. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times I have these different quarter size you know, cards or card insert size pieces of cardstock around, so it's easy to do. All right, so we have that on the inside. Put that back down. All right, so that's done. Now let's go ahead and we need to prepare our banner. So this is one of our punches. This one is called Pick-a-Punch. And actually you can make 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, or 1 inch labels. We are just going to make, I have a 3/4 inch piece of paper here, and I'm going to, let's see here. Let me slide this in. And I'm going to square this off so it slides in the track for my 3/4 inches. Okay, then I turn this over, and I made that a snug 3/4 inches. So I make sure that it's in the center before I punch. Okay, and then I'm going to take the other side and I'm going to slide it in the track for 3/4 inches. And I'm going to make sure that that is centered and do that. And there we have our banner with the different edges here. I am going to center this, and then I'll cut it off the one side where it's a little bit overlapping. Going to keep this near the bottom. Okay. And I'm just going to nip this off with my scissors. And I did get a little glue on that, so I'll be washing this off with my alcohol. Just an alcohol wipe works great. Now this I want to pop up, so I'm going to put my dimensionals behind it. Going to center that. All right, so now we're going to color our Santas. And the thing with Stampin' Blends is they do bleed through, so you never want to have it sitting on top of your card when you're doing your coloring, okay? So we're going to start first with our cherry cobbler. Our Stampin' Blends come in a pair, always a light and a dark. And you can decide how you like to do your blending. Now, it's not right or wrong. It's what you prefer. So what I'm going to do is, and you know, some days I got to tell you, I do it different ways. Tonight, I'm going to do light to dark, back to light, okay? So, and the thing is, you just want to do a little space at a time so that it's still wet and will actually blend. So when I do the light, I'm going to go over the whole hat here, because this is small enough. You know, if you have a big flower you're doing, you might want to do about 1/3 of the petals, and then, you know, blend it and go back and check on it. So, all right, I've covered this all with light, and you have to make sure these stay closed because they are alcohol and they will dry out very fast. Now I'm going to just shade. I want to shade above the line. I'm going to shade where the hat is. Kind of just go around and have it be, have a little detail. And now I go back with the light and just do little circles to blend it in so you don't see a hard line, but you can see the shadow. Okay. So while I have these out, I'll go ahead and do the second hat here. We'll just get both Santas done right away. And the other thing is you want to stay inside the lines when you're coloring, because it could bleed over the line and that would look kind of messy. So you don't want to have that happen. If it does happen, we have something called, let's see, what is this called? The color lifter. And believe it or not, you can actually make it disappear, or mostly disappear, but I'm not going to show that to you with this dark red. But it does work. It's pretty amazing. Okay. Let's go ahead and do his little face. This is a color called Ivory. And there's a color called Bronze. That's a little bit deeper skin tone. And now they have a set of browns from very, very light to very dark that can also be used as you want to do different skin tones. It's really nice. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to do a little cheek color in here. This one does not have a second color. It's just one color. I'm going to use a little Flirty Flamingo. It's really kind of a very, very lightish pink kind of color, and do little cheeks on him. And we know Santa's got a little pink nose. Gotta have his rosy cheeks, right? Okay, and then if I wanted to, you could take this color lifter, and I'll use this to demonstrate just a little bit of lightening all of this up. I'll show this to you before I do it to the second Santa. I don't know if you can see how this one is a little lighter now than this one, because I put the color lifter on it. So it's another way that you can, you know, do some detailed blending. Okay, just wanted to lift that color a little bit. All right, so unfortunately I didn't get a die with this, so I'm just going to die cut this out quick. And whenever, this is called fussy cutting, and when you're fussy cutting, I stay outside of the black line just a little bit. I move the paper, not the scissors. It helps it to stay more stable in your hand. And it actually goes quite quickly. Let's get all this paper out of here. I like that they provided this stamp so that when you ran out of the die cuts, you can keep making cards. So there's one. Let me do the other one quick. Do you guys find yourself fussy cutting much? I not only stamp images, and if I don't have dies, you don't need to fussy cut. I find a lot of things in our designer series paper that I like to fussy cut. You know, if there's not dies for certain flowers, different things that might be on designer series paper, you know, I'll take the time to fussy cut them out and, you know, pop them up on something. But I find the more I do it, the more comfortable I am with actually doing my, got a little, I think I want to nip off there. Okay. Before I had my die cut machine, the only way I could get an image cut out was fussy cutting. Get kind of spoiled when you have, you know, dies that you can use. Okay, we've got our Santas. Now we'll go ahead and we'll put the first one on here, and I'm just going to get the dimensionals on him. While I'm putting that on here, see how this did go through onto the back. So just always remember to just be on a scrap piece of paper, because you also don't want to be on your table when you do that. Okay, and I am just going to, oh, I want to put it over a little bit more because I have there a little more design there. Okay. So there is, you know, one card. Now, I didn't show you on any of the other cards, but you could choose to use some gems to just spark this up a bit. So let's, on this one, let's see. Since I don't have silver on this one, I'll use the silver gems on this one. And we'll use the red ones on the next one. So I'm just going to pick 3 snowflakes and put these right in the center. You could choose to do more. I would encourage you to do, you know, an odd number, but just those 3 gems really, you know, add to that. And so there is alternative card number 1. And let's go ahead and make the second one now. Just slide these out of our way. Okay, so I decided to use crumb cake with this because this was another one of the colors of the set. Take my bone folder, whoops, ooh, caught it, and make sure that that's nice and firm, okay? And then I'm going to just put a number of the dimensionals here on the back. And I found with this one, the smaller dimensionals worked a lot better in these corners. And because it was the small ones, I did add a little extra on the sides, just to make sure that I was not, you know, likely to get something hooked on it. Let's see, and we'll put one more right here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and take these off. So I'm looking, I didn't see anybody saying how they feel about fussy cutting. And I guess, did you think that the adding, you know, when you looked at these 2 cards, adding the gems, did that make a big difference? I actually was surprised I like them. I don't know if everybody does, but I like a little sparkle. Okay, let's go ahead and put this. I'm just going to center it. But see how pretty that is? You know, instead of, I wouldn't ever throw whatever you're using as a stencil away. I would just think it through and figure out how you could use it. Again, so this is the one I want to see if we want to do differently. So let me just get all my parts and pieces here. So I had some silver foil paper left over from another project I was doing, and I decided to cut some snowflakes. So I used my So Many Snowflake dies. And, you know, this is one set of snowflake dies we have. We have a number of snowflake dies that you could use. So just kind of remind you that maybe you would want to think of that as well. I cut this off the envelope, and I wanted to see if I wanted to do something different. I'm not so sure that this blue section, I'll put it up a little closer, really was the best choice for this. I had some leftover white glitter paper that's in the catalog right now. And then this is the festive paper we have out right now that is in Cherry Cobbler. And I cut a couple of flags from that. So I just had, you know, scraps. So I can still cut these flags. And I can put Santa on here. Or I can leave it, you know, I could put this down a little bit and I could just center him and not even cut flags, okay? And then, you know, I could come back with this piece of envelope versus the blue. So I guess I'd like to hear, tell me, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should do something in, you know, with this envelope and those flowers, or did you like it in the blue? And then I'm still going to embellish it with the silver snowflakes. But I guess I'd like to get a little input from you as to what you think would look better. So I'm going to say that I'll probably still do Merry Christmas, but it's just how I'm going to do it. So let me know, maybe even putting a little of this and a little of this on here would be nice. This time I'm not going to do the banners with Santa. I'm going to glue this together while I wait to see what you have to say, okay? And I'll refresh my screen. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing any comments. Let's see. Okay, now let me look for comments here. Okay, you're liking the extras. Great. Like the joy card, Barb. Okay. So what do you guys think? You like the blue? You like the tan? You want me to do something more with the red? I'm kind of open here. So let's just put glue on the back of this. And we'll put this in about the same place. But, okay. Red and tan, okay. Thank you, Betty. Put this in the center. So it's amazing, you know, you think, what can I do with these little squares? I'll tell you guys, I keep them and I'm always able to use them. I'm going to pop this up with the dimensionals. And let me use the red and tan, and then we'll have two different examples to look at. Choices, right? There, and then we'll pop up our Santa. Ah, he's a little crooked. Oh, the glue didn't want to stick on that glitter paper. We'll have to see if it does stick or if I need to use, you know, pop that up. All right, so let's see. I'm going to use the red on here then. And I'm going to put it around a skinnier piece. All right, I'm going to stamp the Mary here and see if I can make that just a little smaller, thinner, this piece of cardstock, or envelope, I'm sorry. All right, let's get a little of our, this time I am going to go for the dark cherry cobbler. Okay. Kind of, let's see. All right, we have our Mary. I don't like the fact that it isn't super dark. So I'm going to show you one of my tips I do for when that happens. I actually get my regular markers out and let's see, cherry cobbler. Okay. And I tell you, I leave those markers near me because I have to do this often. Because sometimes, especially like this envelope paper, not the best stuff to stamp on, right? So what I'm doing is just where it's not such a good, you know, firm stamping or whatever, I'm just filling it in a little bit. And as it dries, you'll never even know that I did something different with it, but it will look better in the end. I do like to have my glasses on when I'm doing this, but right now I'm winging it, so. Okay, so just a little thing that you can do if you need to. And then let's see, should we do... I am going to take a little bit of that off. And then I think I'll put Christmas down here, but I'm going to do it in the dark spruce. And I don't think I'm going to do the snowflakes because I have so many of those other ones. Unless, maybe I do need a few of them. Let's do shaded spruce. And we have our word Christmas here. All right, Mary Jane, I see you saw red in hand too, so thank goodness. All right, let me just, I'm going to get out my trimmer here. See if I can use this without making too much of a disaster on my table. Let's see if I can get a 1/4 inch off of this. Not quite. Let me back it off just a little bit. There. Oop. I lost you totally. The trimmer changed everything on the computer. Rats. There we go. Okay. Now let's see. So we can have this. Well, it's kind of cool how actually Christmas goes under there. Do you think I should put some red snowflakes on here? And do I want to put red underneath? So this could actually be that size. This could go there. And I could put a couple red snowflakes, and then we could put the silver snowflakes. Let's see. I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to cut this. Let's see, I think this is perfectly that size. So I'm just going to line this up and cut right here. So I keep these the same size. Okay. I think before I glue this down, I am going to put a couple of red snowflakes on there. I think it needs something. It's kind of plain. So this is a part of the Stampin' Up! Set. I'm sorry, not Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin. This probably helps it go kind of with the background we have. All right, there. All right, let's get it layered up here. So I'm going to put just a very, very thin line of glue on the bottom of here to attach my red piece of cardstock. Just the very edge. I'm going to have to slide it. Glue is a wonderful thing because I can slide it. Okay. And then I think I'm going to pop this whole thing up. Break out some new glue dots here. I'm sorry, dimensionals. I guess I've used so many different kinds of adhesive tonight. It's like, which ones am I using now, right? All right. Go ahead and peel this off. So you see how you can just make different ideas with this. I really do like playing with these kits because, you know, it all is meant to go together, and then I kind of accent it with a couple of other things. So let's just follow the bottom of that. And then with the snowflakes, I am going to do the mini glue dots here. I really like the silver foil. Going with the little sparkles, you know, in this white glitter paper. All right. And then on the inside of this one, I just took a piece of the envelope again and some cherry cobbler, and just very easily I'm going to just, now because I changed this, I could do this. Oh, I like that better than even just these stripes because now it matches the front. So I'm going to change it. Best laid plans. Well, we're kind of winding down here, so any final comments or questions as I glue this last inside together? I have something to show you that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So there, I really like that inside, and I tell you what, I'm going to put this one, can't find my lid to my glue. Oh boy, there it is. I'm going to put one of these snowflakes inside, just to, carry over from what I was doing on the front. And there. Now I said on this one, maybe I would do red. I have these red rhinestones, gemstones. I think I probably like this without because of the silver snowflakes. I guess enough's enough. You don't want to put too much on, right? So we've kind of got two different examples of that one, two different examples of this one. Let me see if I can do these so you can see them all. And then we have the three that were our card, projects as they were presented. And, I could keep going and have a whole bunch of cards, ready to put in the mail. So with that, I'm going to check your comments here. You like the Santa with the crumb cake on front of the second choice. Great. And hello, Mary Ellen. Okay. Any other questions and comments? And otherwise, I just want to show you, I am doing a class of Christmas painted ornaments tomorrow, and I'm painting on wood. So first I am going to do a little plaque with a snowman. And now the way I'm going to teach the class, you could do any stamps that you want, any Christmas stamps, because I'm going to teach you how to prepare the wood. Then we emboss, and I'm going to show you how to use acrylic paints and then blend them. And then I have some extra fun products that help highlight the little fuzzy part of the hat and the glistening buttons. So that is one of them. And then here's the second example of these little penguins. And I don't know if any of you have these retired stamp sets. They're pretty old, but I just love these little guys. And we're going to mix some colors. We're going to make this glisten. I also have something that makes the word joy. I don't know if you can see it up close enough, but it's shiny, so it actually looks like peppermint candy. And once again, this is a wooden ornament. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night at 7. You can still sign up for the class. It's all over the business page here if you're interested. And I would love to see you there if you would like to make some Christmas ornaments. So with that, let me flip the camera up here and let me just make sure no other questions. Thanks, Wanda. Okay, let's do this. And I can say thank you so much for joining me tonight for the workshop. If you have questions about Paper Pumpkin, it is always in my weekly email. You can find out about the kits themselves, how to get a hold of them, and don't hesitate to ask questions. You can always email me at Traci, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. And anyway, I am going on the road to a Stampin' Up! Event for next weekend in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to do my Facebook Live while I'm on the road. And I have a really cool card to share with you. And, I hope to pop in and let you know how Stampin' Up! How the event goes. So With that being said, have a great night, happy stamping, and I'll look forward to talking to you on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Bye-bye now.